Assalamu alaikum. Let's cook.
Do you think race might be a factor?
Like my wife said, I don't want to believe that, but it's just so many things have happened, and so many things have been swept under the rug. Like I say, Nolan didn't see color. He saw people for who they are, and I used to always tell him, so you need to go out there close, because everyone is not going to reciprocate that same love that you give. I just want transparency. I just want to know what happened to my son.
Christine, why does that make you so emotional?
Because he just had a big heart. Like, to really know Nolan, to have him as your friend it was something special. People aren't like him. He was just different. And
do you worry that he might have trusted too much?
Sometimes, yeah. And that was something we always talked to him about.
Do you think...
Nah, the white lady asked, do you believe race was a factor? Yes or no? You couldn't say no because you really believe it was. And you don't want to say yes because a man who would have said yes probably wouldn't have been allowed on that show, or probably couldn't go to that show. You know what I'm saying? These people are from Mississippi. Know the history of Mississippi? Do you believe race was a factor? We already know race was a factor. Listen to this part, people. Check this out.
Like I say, Nolan didn't see color. He saw people for who they are. And I used to always tell him, so you need to go out there close, because everyone is not going to reciprocate that same love that you give. I just want transparency. I just want to know what happened to my son.
People, unfortunately, this whole thing now is just a big spectacle. Anytime you see somebody like Al Sharpton, Ben Crump, Jamal Bryant, these are people that the white man sends there to make sure everything is under control, unfortunately. I mean, it is what it is. They do the same thing over and over again. I mean, this guy, whatever his name, Albert Sharpton, he like 100. Like, he's been doing this his whole life. This guy is a very evil person. People who know him say, yeah, he a mean dude. This is a guy who dealt with the mob and stuff like that, FBI informant. I mean, what else you got to see? I mean, look, man, let me tell you about these I don't see color reckless folks. This goes for everybody, man. You know, it's not even all about this Nolan Wells situation. Condolences to his family, man. You know, we know the white folks who say I don't see color, they're usually just lying and just being deceptive. We know that. All white folks see color. And if you're a black person in America, you better see color. But here's the thing, man. You know, these black people who say I don't see color, I see people for who they are. I only see people for who they are. I see black people for who they are. Not just Nolan people. They see black people for who they are. When you're inflicted with Caucasian European hypnosis, you cannot use discernment when white people are in the equation. You can't. You can have discernment with black people, yes, but not with white people. It's like a spiritual cover. You can't see things. You know what I mean? Perfect example here of a black person who's under Caucasian European hypnosis. Okay, a black person, right, could come around this person, right? They come in the room, musty, dirty, smelling bad. They'll say, hey, get out of here, you stink, take a shower, you dirty. Or they'll say things like, oh, ladies can't be fat, I don't like no fat ladies. Or, oh, he better be a king with a job for me to talk to him, and he better have this. This is what they'll say when dealing with black people. Then these same people who are under this Caucasian European hypnosis spell, these standards go out the door when it comes to white people. Because later on, you'll see these same people with the most musty, dirty, thuggish, same drawers wearing white people, fat boo bear white ladies, dirty white junkies who burn cigarettes out on the rug and type stuff, living with them while they working all this overtime. You'll see that same stuff. They'll accept that from white people. You know what I mean? These are people who are under Caucasian European hypnosis. That I don't see color. I see people for who they are. Yes, that's for black people only. You know what I mean? Now, in this situation with this black child, Nolan, I believe every word his parents and everybody else says about him when it comes to him being a good, respectful young boy, good, respectful teenager. You like to have him around. He's nice, all that. I believe every word. I believe every word. I also believe that he was at a point in his young life where he was easy prey for white people who may want to lynch people or have a sacrifice for some kind of satanic ritual. I believe that he was easy prey for that at that point in his life. Unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to learn, you know, and his father says, I want to know. I want answers. I get it. He's supposed to, but here's the truth. The same people who you want justice and answers from are the same people who did this to your son. The same people. Now I see Ben Crump and Al Sharpton. I know he not getting nothing. May get a couple dollars if anything. But once they come out, you already know, oh, these white, that's Pel Voltron. They got this. You know what I mean? Look, social media is buzzing with these stories. You know, say his name, say her name. They do, you know, I stand with XYZ. We want justice. We want answers. It looks great and it appears positive on social media and all that. But I hope that black people don't get all caught up in this stuff on social media and thinking this is the reality. It's not. When you out there on the roads, when you out there at school, when you at work, when you in these situations, when you on a boat, when you at a meeting somewhere, you on your own. You know what I mean? You on your own. All that social media stuff, listen, this is going to sound bad. Most of these people do not care. They're just jumping on a wave that's cool, putting fists and emojis and all this other stuff. Listen, that's all fake. But you could take these situations and learn from it and apply it, because the response, the reality is real. The reality is real. Unfortunately, there will be no justice in these stories right here. How many stories do we cover from the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 30s, where the white community, where this tragedy might have happened, that comes in the year 2002, 2012, 2015, whatever, 2008, and acknowledges that situation that happened in the 40s or the 50s or the 30s or whatever, and say that we had all this information in this horrific lynching or this horrific death, you know what I mean, at this time. And we had all this information and we feel bad and we want to invite some black people to come have a prayer circle and a conversation. We've seen that. This right here is one of them situations. White people will be acknowledging this in like the year 3000, Nolan Wells and all these other ones, when it don't even matter. And the people feel like it don't even matter anymore. The youth can't even connect to it. They're like, what's that? You know what I mean? That's when they'll do it. They've been doing it. This is what they do. So I get all that. We want justice. We got to fight for it. Yeah, true. People do have to fight for it and call things out, you know, but that ain't how it's going down here. You can look at it already and tell. And then these people on social media, listen, trauma-based amnesia, they'll be on to the next story in a minute. That's just how it goes. That's why I think it's important to keep these stories out there. Rasheem Carter, other stories. You got to keep them out there, man. Got to keep talking about these stories as if they happened last week, because that buzz that it gets and all this stuff on social media, most of those people don't care. A lot of these people are just sheep followers. I'm talking about the black ones arguing with white people and going back and forth. Yeah, it's hot for a second, but that ain't what it is. That ain't the reality. There are people who really do care, though. There are people who do, but I'm saying the mainstream. So I get all the talk, and that has to happen, but that's not how it goes when it comes to getting answers and justice. That's not going to happen here. But what I think people can learn from these situations is tighten up, Be proactive. Get your people, get your unit, the people that you're close with. Stop waiting on a group. You want to sit around and have 5,000 black people at a place and have barbecue and drill teams there. That's not necessary. Everybody just got to do their part, man. We want to have a gap. Everybody got to do their part. All the information in history is there. All that confusing stuff and let's all get together and meet here on such and such date and bring such and such to sing. All that is nonsense. Black people have all the information they need to take care of their own people and everybody do their job. And then, of course, help other people when you could. But, a lot of times when I see that old big stuff, I say, oh, that's a cop-out. This reactive stuff is not it. It's not it. These people don't really care like that. All the hashtagging and all that, don't get caught up in that. But these incidents with these Mayo monsters is real. You just got to be proactive. Everybody do their part, man. Look at these stories. Look at what happens after and what the families often say. Everything that they said about the white people after the fact, when they're upset and mad and hurt, and they should be, these white people were that before the incident. You know what I mean? So why we got to wait? Why we got to wait? Everything that these black people say after the fact about the white people involved, these white people were all that before the incident. We still have a lot of these black people, y'all, gullible Negroes who they got to hear the N-word to call somebody racist. Oh, they ain't say that. Come on, man. You being treated like the N-word by this person for the past 5 months, 5 years. But you was happy they giving you chocolate chip cookies and all this and patting you between the eyebrows so you was all good. But then when something happened, oh, he said the N-word, she said the N-word. Come on, man. You got to hear that to know what's going on. Many of us do. That's why I always say black people need white people to be mean to us. Could you imagine if those white people there were mean to Nolan Wells? From the jump, N-word this, we don't like you. That would have been a better thing. He wouldn't have went out there with them and so many other black people because a lot of our people are so reactive thinking. It's just some insanity. Either we got to hear the N-word or we got to wait for some white people to straight wash us up. Oh, they mean and they racist. Come on, man. This stuff will continue to happen. People have to be proactive. It's not about going out and being mean, talking all this old big talk. You ain't going to do nothing. You're not going to go down. You can't act like a white person. You're not going to go around hunting people and all. That's not going to happen. Just be proactive because in most of these situations, we hand over our noose straight like that. Put ourselves right there, right for them. Straight meat tenderizer all on us, just laying there, just rolling around in it. You know what I mean? Most of our people just don't get it, man. Easy.